because 37 states have passed anti-boycott laws protecting Israel. And soon enough,
yeah, the United States of Israel is in really big trouble. So we saw government backlash from the Black Lives Matter protests, Kent State. Like, we have a totalitarian ass government. It just so happens to be Israel this time. As far as the boycotting goes, you can't force people to buy things, but I don't know if you can force stores to stock things. You can't force stores to renew their contracts. So if anybody had a contract that expired and they don't want to do anything that directly supports Israel, they don't have to renew their contract. But I guess they can't get out of their contract if they like want to boycott Israel. That's for a business owner to decide, but like as a consumer, the boycott laws don't really affect us. It can be argued, and it is well hypothesized, that the banning of TikTok is influenced by the criticism of Israel, but also like I said, Black Lives Matter, Kent State, authoritarian government. Like, it can be this today, but it could easily be something else tomorrow. It's about setting the precedent that our government can censor what we see on the internet henceforth, and that's going to be any issue. And the other side of that is that the United States government doesn't want to compete with anything with China's name on it in the tech market. We already know that. Even though there's some big brains that already know that technically ByteDance isn't a Chinese company because they're not registered in China to avoid taxes or whatever. But I wouldn't be too worried because the lawsuits have already started. It very obviously violates our right to work, as there are 7 million small businesses on here and live streamers making their income on here. It also violates our right to access information. And the FCC just restored net neutrality. So we got a whole, put on your fucking fisticuffs because we about to go at. Now we get to the more interesting part of any criticism about Israel being registered as anti-Semitic hate speech. Now, we as Americans know that we can spew all kinds of hate speech, and certain Americans often do. But freedom of speech is not right to platform, and there are plenty of platforms with anti-hate speech policies. But if you didn't know this before Twitter transitioned into X, Elon Musk taught us that it's the owners of the platform that get to make the policies that decide what hate speech is, whether or not it's actually hate speech. Even people who have incited violence get a platform as long as the people who own the platform have decided that they didn't incite violence. Platforms can literally choose to ignore hate speech. They can choose to ignore criticisms against Israel. And in terms of a job, there are people who've already lost their jobs over criticizing Israel, as I've already said. If they're going to fire you, they're just going to go ahead and fire you. So that also really doesn't change anything. And on the other hand, it only changes things if the online platforms choose to let it. But there's already a TikTok ban that you didn't know about. Devices issued under the Affordable Connectivity Program are already banned from downloading TikTok. I don't know if they put a block on it so you can't ban it, but it is illegal for you to download TikTok on devices issued under the ACP program. And now that the government has decided to let the program run out of money, that's going to remove 22 million American households from phone and internet access. We need to zoom out and see how this all adds up to removing as many Americans from the internet as possible. Raising the bills for people who are below the poverty line, just straight up cutting off people's phone service. And as our infrastructure moves away from analog and paper to online and digital, people won't be able to do basic things like banking, being able to get a ride, online schooling. Like, somebody told me that they have to add money to their child's school lunch balance online. There's no way to do that on paper. So, kids are even going to go hungry over this. Imagine that your internet bill has gone up from $30 to $100, and now you have to pay the internet bill, but you don't have enough money to put on your kid's school lunch balance. Imagine your phone got cut off, so now you can't get into communication with a job or housing, maybe you had a voucher and now you lose your voucher for housing because you couldn't contact them because your phone got cut off. People won't be able to stay updated on what's going on in the world, let alone do basic everyday things, because our infrastructure relies on phone and internet. So please harass your House of Representatives people and your congressperson and tell them to continue funding for the Affordable Connectivity Program. And when you talk about the Affordable Connectivity Program online, be sure to use hashtag FundACP.